If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your dose of inspiration and juice. It is October the 16th, 2023, and today the topic is flesh and blood. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend. Mine was just fine. Quick recap of my weekend goes like this, y'all. We had a lazy Saturday around here. We pretty much just ate some leftovers from my husband's movie night that we had Friday on his birthday. Of course, watching my movie, y'all. My movie that I produced, wrote, co-starred in the cast. But yeah, so we did that on Saturday. Yeah, it was a lazy day for us because honestly, it's probably one of the few times that in the past few weeks that we just was home, all of us, and we like didn't have to leave, didn't have anything to do in particular. So I was like, let's just let this day be. And it was nice. It was nice. So that was Saturday in a nutshell. And then yesterday, which was Sunday, those of you all, again, that follow me on social media, you may already know. But I went and did my shift at the church, of course. And the movie that we were, I guess, using to teach the kiddos was The Secret Life of Pets. So yours truly, I decided to channel a poodle, and it's so funny because like, okay, so I get ready, I'm in my room getting ready, and it just gave me like joy to get ready. It actually reminded me of the conversation I had with the gentleman last week that's going to be on a future episode of GSL. He was talking about how when it comes to art, it's like the creation of art that is the most important thing, not necessarily selling the art or anything of that nature, right? So anyway, I felt that feeling yesterday because I was just getting ready and I just put like, drew a little nose on my nose and drew a little line to make me look like a puppy, whatever the case may be. That's all I made. I didn't go like too elaborate with the makeup or anything. I just kind of did a simple makeup. I, tied my hair in a way to make my hair look like ears and all this little stuff. And it just brought me so much joy to like get prepared. And so then when I opened up the door to my room, my son's like, wow. So that was one thing. And I guess this is what let me know that I had married the right person, right? Even though on one hand, it's not saying an annoying thing, but it's like, it's just interesting. It's an interesting thing. But at the same time, it's like, when I really just thought about it, I'm like, this is just another confirmation that I married the right person. And this is what happened. So I come out the room, like I said, and I'm kind of, I'm a little poodle, right? And the first thing my husband says to me when he sees me is, where's your tail? It's not, what are you doing, woman? It's not, are you supposed to be a puppy? It's not nothing like that. It's, where's the rest? And it's just very interesting, again, like the dynamic that me and my little family have. It's like my son, I guess he expects me to play characters. My husband, you know what I mean? It's not a strange thing for me to quote unquote dress up or be me or be these silly characters or whatever the case may be. And so, man, shout out to my family and everything. And shout out to Mountain West for, the opportunity to use my creativity in hopes to lead these children closer to Christ. As well as, I guess y'all by sharing, my testimonies and whatnot. And yeah, so that was yesterday. My son was calling me puppy throughout the morning. We had a really interesting moment. We were getting breakfast and at the church, whatever. And then one of the ladies, he was in front of this lady, and she looked up at him, and I can't remember what was said, but he was like, "My mommy's a dog." And she was like, kind of shocked by hearing him say that. But then when I turned around and looked at her, I was like, and she's like, oh. Because at first, like, her first reaction was like, "Oh no, you shouldn't say that about your mom." But yeah, hey, I mean, anyway, just trying to give y'all a sneak peek into my life. But anywho, so that was cute yesterday. Being there and doing that. Actually, I would say that, I don't know if I told y'all, but I guess I'll tell y'all now. One of the things that I think, not to say I brought it on, but I think the Lord through me has made some changes to the way that things have been done in the children's ministry. And one of those things that I guess I've tried to incorporate or bring to the table, I guess you would say, is the concept of like helping the kids, become a little bit closer and open to, things of the spirit versus just like doing something just to do it, right? And so we've become more intentional about like the worship portion of the students ministry or the kids ministry, because that's what I'm in particular. And one of the things we've done is we've incorporated like a worship song, like a little slower, and then we'll go into doing the upbeat songs that they're used to. And by having that moment, I've been, pretty much letting the kids know that, hey, if you want me to pray for you, or if you want to pray with each other, or whatever the case may be, just incorporating prayer. And that has really been like significant. Like even yesterday, and I've been using my son, so shout out to my son for being a shining light and example in that moment. Usually when we start the song, I would call him, because he usually, anytime I ask him if he wants to pray, he usually says yes. So I ask him if he wants to pray. He prays with me. And then I offer it to the other children. And in the first service, majority of the children welcomed prayer. So man, to God be the glory, man. I'm just grateful to be, again, using my gifts and talents and for the glory and honor of the Lord. And I see, a shift happening in the ministry over there at Mountain West. And I'm just grateful to be, I guess, used or whatever the case may be. So anyway, that was a really cool thing that happened yesterday. I mean, the day in the church and everything itself was good. I worked all 3 services, so I didn't get a chance to sit in the service. I believe that in the main services, they were using the movie Forrest Gump as a part of the sermon. There's only maybe like a few more weeks left when it comes to October, as well as this series of at the movies. But if y'all want to come visit us, man, if you're in Georgia, whatever the case may be, come visit, check us out, and yeah. But anyway, let's get into this, dog. Let's get into this juice, because it's already late. For those that watch live, y'all see that I'm recording like almost at 9 a.m. And yeah, that's very late for, what I intend. But hey, things happen for a reason, so hey. So this morning I did wake up to the sound of my alarm, but then I snoozed. And then the next time I woke up, it was around 6:53. And I was looking into that. The Strong's Concordance seemed to be significant. It was, I guess, telling me to speak out about darkness again, which ultimately made me think about something that happened yesterday, which I'll tell y'all about in a moment. And then I went deeper and looked into, I Googled Bible 6:53, and I came across John 6:53, which I'm going to share with you guys in a moment. And that just kind of took this conversation home. So today's topic of flesh and blood, I guess let's go ahead and get into what the inspiration is. So that's kind of where it came from, but let me tell you what happened yesterday real quick. So like I told you guys, we talked about the secret life of pets yesterday in the children's ministry. And so lately, for this particular theme with the movies, I've been trying to find whatever the playlist of the movie is, we've been playing it in the room just to set the tone of whatever the movie is, right? I think I might have come across a playlist that wasn't necessarily the movie's official playlist, but somebody made a playlist for the movie, and in it they had the song by Jay-Z, Empire State of Mind. Now, I've heard this song over the years, X, Y, and Z. I even got a whole, YouTube video that, I named it after it or whatever the case may be, because I was in New York at the time and I was kind of singing the song or whatever, at least singing Alicia Keys' part. But yesterday I noticed a line in the song that made me be like, huh? What is that? What did that say? And I guess I'll go ahead and read it since I'm talking about it, because I wrote it down for y'all this morning. It said, Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church ends. And I said, what? Now, I heard the Jesus can't save part. I didn't hear the other part until I went and looked up the lyrics, because I was like, did he say something about Jesus? Hold on, let me go look these lyrics up. So I guess I'm calling out darkness in this moment, y'all, because this is another reminder that we need to watch what we feed our spirits with. Obviously we had to take that song out the playlist for the kids yesterday. But my thing is, since the Lord has brought this back to my heart and mind this morning and whatnot, we're talking about this conversation of flesh and blood and all this. Yeah, we need to be feeding our spirits and not our flesh. And we need to, again, be watching what we take in any capacity. Music, film, whatever. You know, what are you taking in? What are you feeding yourself with? And are you feeding your spirit or your flesh? So with that being said, let me share with you guys some of the things that were standing out to me this morning. And hopefully these things will encourage and inspire you. So I was just going deeper about all of this. And so when I came across John 6:53, this is what it said. It said, then Jesus said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye have no life in you. Now, I know when you just hear those words, like, you know, there's a lot of us, if, say, for example, you don't know anything about Bible, and if I just all of a sudden say, you need to eat my flesh and drink my blood, that would sound kind of crazy, gory, spooky. You know, I know this is the season for all that type of stuff, and, you know, in this month and all that type of stuff. And, you know, so that sounds creepy, right? And a lot of people, if you read the Bible, it tells you that a lot of people stopped following Jesus that day because they couldn't get past the flesh representation and everything like that. Now, we know that he didn't mean, in the context, he wasn't talking about eating his actual flesh and drinking his actual blood. And we see that, you know, when he did celebrated the whole Passover supper with the Last Supper, X, Y, and Z. We see that he used bread and he used wine, you know, things of that nature, and stuff. And let's be clear here. I ain't seen no stuff in real life, so I'll put that on the table outside of maybe some video stuff. I haven't seen people do this grotesque thing, but I hear that it's something that's happening, and they definitely are putting it in movies and whatnot, that people are drinking blood and eating body parts and all kinds of foolishness or whatever the case may be and stuff. And so, and then they're like, well, the Bible says things like that. And it's like, well, no, because Jesus clearly used bread and wine. He didn't cut himself and say, okay, you know, take a sip. Like, I don't know. You can't, and clearly he's talking about spiritually or whatever the case may be. I think I talked about this a few weeks ago. That was another thing that came into my heart and mind this morning. I'm like, well, Lord, didn't you have me talk about this a few weeks ago? I think it was the juice that was about listening or something like that, because again, you could see that he was clearly referring to the people that was just following him to get fed again. Because he had just fed the 5,000, whatever case may be, and then the people just continued to follow him because I guess they wanted another meal, and he's trying to let them know that, hey, it's not the food that's really gonna like help you. What you really need is me. And then again, because they were so, I guess, earthly minded, it went over their heads. And again, like I said, a lot of people stopped following him that day, and X, Y, and Z. The Bible literally says, the quote that said, this is hard teaching. So I guess they felt like it was too hard to understand and whatnot. Which, hey, again, if without context, it does sound crazy. So I ain't gonna sit here and lie, and whatever the case may be. But now that that's already out there, you guys can go deeper about all these things. Plenty of stuff in the Go Deeper section to peruse and let marinate on your hearts and souls and minds about, you know, what Jesus meant and all this type of stuff. But let's get into some verses, okay? So Galatians 5:16, it says, but I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. You know, I mean, there's a lot of ways that we have to do this. I mean, we have to, you know, walk by the Spirit and, you know, all day, every day. You know, again, I have my little temptations, whatever. Y'all know I'm on my journey, taking my little sabbatical, you know, out here. You know, I ain't masturbated in a good minute. I've been honest with y'all about that, and it's a struggle. You know what I mean? Because I'm just it's something I've been used to in my life. But the thing is, I have to walk by the Spirit, right? And as I continue to do that, I'm noticing that I'm not gratifying the flesh the more that I walk by the Spirit. Even in my moments of temptation, they're not lasting as long as things used to. Or whatever, I have the thought or whatever the case may be, and then for whatever reason in this particular season, I'm trying not to dwell on the thoughts, or maybe they don't even last that long for me to even like, if I really like challenge myself to let me keep thinking about all these things, because I miss certain feelings or whatever, or the feeling you have of all these different type of things or whatever, but at the same time, it's like I need to be feeling my spirit right now. Like I do feel like the other thing that's holding me accountable with this particular thing, and for me, and I hope this is helping y'all. But anyway, another thing that's holding me accountable about this is that I feel like the Lord is wanting to take me to another level spiritually, and that's why He's putting me on this sabbatical again when it comes to this particular thing. And the more that I'm doing it, the more I'm able to share with y'all about obviously self-control and whatnot. But and I don't know. I mean, I done told y'all, like, I've been having more dreams. I've been having more visions and all this type of stuff as well. So, there's something to, again, feeding your spirit. If I was, again, staying earthly minded, fleshly minded, like, would I be getting the dreams? Would I be having these revelations of things to share with you guys every morning? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, all I know is the years before 2020, before I actually, became intentional about doing daily Bible study and all these different type of things, my mom was engulfed in all kinds of other things, and who knows, maybe I'll be resenting my husband in marriage right now, or maybe I'll be reading romance novels and on one hand feeling hot and bothered, but then on the other hand feeling regret and shame or whatever, but instead the Lord's waking me up every morning and giving me things to share with y'all. And I just feel like that's a testimony to, again, walking by the Spirit and not the flesh. Let me give you guys some more verses, y'all. Okay, so we got Romans 13 and 14. It says, but put on the Lord Jesus Christ and make no provision for the flesh to gratify its desires. At the end of the day, yeah, we're humans, and yeah, it's easy to get caught up again in life and the things of this world or X, Y, and Z. But it says here to make no provision for the flesh. Like, don't, again, like, even in my moment of temptation, who knew? Like, I guess things happen for a reason, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, in my moment of temptation, was it last night? Basically, again, I had my little thoughts. I was like, okay, I do miss the feeling of this or that, and just put it like that, because y'all can use your own fill in the blanks, whatever the case may be. I do miss whatever feelings or whatever, but at the same time, I'm like, well, nah, there's no need for me to not hold on to the self-control that I've been holding on to these past months. Like, at the end of the day, like, sure, I could even look at my husband sideways and be like, well, because he should be da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like, all I can do is just pray for him and pray for myself in the midst of the weight or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't know. I find so much more strength in that. So again, make no provision for the flesh, y'all, to gratify its desires. So again, you might have to switch the stuff up. You might have to switch, again, the things you're taking in, what you're doing, all of that type of stuff. You might need to switch things up in order to make no provision for them to operate and take over your life. Romans 8 and 13, it says, for if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the deeds of the body, and you, it's pretty much saying you will live. Yeah, I mean, he's been trying to explain to the people, y'all, that at the end of the day, again, feeding your spirit is what's going to allow you to live at the end of the day. Like, again, I feel like I heard something recently. I know I posted something on the GSL Facebook in regards to this, and it was talking about this whole concept again of feeding your spirit, and because I guess a lot of us are walking around spiritually dead, and then we're like, why is this happening, and why is life like this, and why is this and that? and we not feeding our spirit at all. Again, I wrote about this in my book. And it's a quote that stood out with me, all these years. Shout out to the gentleman that told it to me, whatever years ago. He said, hey, there's two dogs within us, right? There's a flesh and the spirit dog, and what's going to win the fight is what you feed. And so, I hope that we're out here feeding ourselves spiritually, and not just, allowing the flesh to just get, all the what I guess nutrients, and just building up your flesh so much that your spirit can't live. Anyway, and I hope this still ain't going over y'all's head, but whatever. I mean, for those that can receive, then I hope you're receiving, and that you feel led to go ahead and build up your spirit, man, versus the flesh. Because, yeah. Anyway, there's all the examples that could possibly be given, but let me keep going. I already shared with you guys John 6:53. You guys check out that on your own. I think I got one more verse to share. Yes, and it's Matthew 16 and 18. It says, and I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I felt led to write this down this morning because I was reflecting on that verse that was in the song Empire State of Mind, yes, by Jay-Z, and everything like that. And I told you guys what it said. He literally said, Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church ends. I don't know why he said that. You know what I mean? Like even if you read the verses that he said around that, or the lyrics, put it like the lyrics that was said around that can be kind of like, like, what are we listening to? Again, watch what you're feeding your spirit. If you're feeding your spirit this concept of you can't be saved by Christ and life begins when the church ends, then of course you're spiritually dead. Of course you're spiritually defeated, because you're feeding your flesh with them ideas. But according to the Bible, Jesus tells Peter that he is building the church on the rock of what Peter said. And what did Peter say in that moment? He said that Christ is the Son of God. At the end of the day, if you guys go deeper, if you read the Bible at all, we see and understand that, obviously what Christ did can save us. And like he was saying to the 5,000 and the people that was following him, we need to consume, I guess, him, right? The living water, the living manna, the living bread, all these things that he represents. We need to be, again, feeding our spirits and being led by him versus, again, any other alternative idea. And I guess this is ultimately the juice this morning when we're having this conversation about flesh and blood. Don't be so creeped out. And go deeper and get an understanding of, again, yes, the concept, the context, and what he's actually saying, and that is to feed your spirit and not your flesh, and that is the juice. Now, the Bible verse of today is Matthew 7:13 and 14. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in there at, because y'all look at that yourself for that middle part, because I'm jumbling it up. But it says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.